Hey, this is the Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 42. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to start our arc of
friendship
with the first of one of our buddies' decks. Now hit our theme song! Hey Ryan, we're back from the Whirlwind Adventure. How you doing?
I'm good. What's going down?
Whole ton. We're going to start our first. Hell with it. We're going to continue our arc of friendship with the first actual deck.
It's kind of our second episode in the arc of friendship, but the first actual deck.
Yes. So we actually have a list today, which we'll get to where you can find that in a little bit. But I think it's going to be really cool. And this is a really neat deck. And it kind of throws back to another thing that we've been talking about and railing against for the entire time we've had a podcast.
The scrapbook and ninnies?
No, a different thing. I won't say it because...
The church?
No, we haven't really against them in a long time. F you, church.
Yeah.
Christian Coalition Outreach, give us our email back.
Stealing our emails.
Scum.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool episode. We'll get into what we're talking about and whose deck we're talking about and why we're talking about it in a little bit. But I think we have a little bit of housekeeping we got to take care of first.
Oh, yeah. Lots of housekeeping. Good stuff to talk about. Run through our social media coordinates as fast as you can.
We're CCO Podcast on Twitter and tappedout.net. That's where you can find this deck and any other deck we talk about in the future. We're commandercookout@gmail.com. You can also find us at Commander Cookout on Patreon, edhrec.com, Commander Society, Google Play, iTunes. That is all.
Tappedout.net?
Tappedout.net. I already said that. CCO Podcast.
There you go.
Did it.
That was like radio commercial announcer voice into...
Ran out of voice
with your nuts in a vice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's basically what that was, yeah.
You know what that is? That's how cold it is outside.
It's so cold today.
It's unrelenting.
It's never going away.
No.
This is our new life. This is our life now. We live in hell.
Yes.
The middle of Dante's hell.
Yes, and the middle, where it's cold.
That's right.
Very
Satan
much
is
so.
frozen up to his waist in ice, and he's chewing on Judas Caesarion in one hand, and he's like, I don't know what he's doing with the other guys, but he's doing something terrible to some other people there, too.
Yeah, I was thinking, man, I want to move to California. Then I was like, ooh, wait, no, it's underwater.
Yeah, somebody that's going to
Under
sink
mud.
in.
Sorry, California.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, right? They have the wildfires burning all the trees, and the tree roots are all gone, so you have nothing to protect from mudslides, and the mudslides are going to happen, and now they're going to fucking start starving because all their mud fell onto their houses.
That's how the Earth changes.
Yeah.
The only difference between now and like 5 billion years ago is there's a bunch of humans here that actually make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
That makes us sound like terrible people. We feel for you. We do.
If you're in California, please take care of yourself.
Yep, very much so. Speaking of taking care of yourself and people, got some shout-outs.
Ooh.
Shout-outs. Shout-out to, get this, Cameron and the other Laboratory Maniacs from Laboratory Maniac Podcast. They commented a bunch on the Yidris episode. They commented on, or they sent us an email about the Scrap Atraxa episode. So here's the thing. If you like competitive Commander, CEDH, competitive EDH, go check out Laboratory Maniacs. They have podcast. They got YouTube channel where they do deck techs.
Ooh.
Yes. I've been looking at some of the lists that Cameron sent me and tweaking a few decks. Ooh.
Oh.
Very much so. Shout out to Andy and Kyle, Legendary Creature Podcast.
Wow.
They sound like us, kinda, which is awesome. But F you for sounding like us.
Yeah, don't take our shtick, or we'll stake you in the heart
With a stick.
Yeah, or my dick.
The beef is on. The beef is on. Tim White followed us on Podomatic.
Wow.
Great segue into how to beat the scrapbooking ninnies. I posted on Twitter, following and sharing directly from our Podomatic page. Number one way to take down the scrapbooking ninnies.
Yeah, we were back in the number 2 slot there
The
for a little
number
while.
2 slot.
Number 2. But it turns out that the scrapbooking ninnies are like, not only are they the number 1 games and hobbies podcast, they're also like in the top, let's say call it 15 on all of Podomatic.
Yeah, we got to crush them.
Yeah, so catching them would both be amazing and difficult.
I wonder if they're like paying off the owners of Podomatic, saying, "Hey, keep us here."
They might be.
I hate them.
Yeah, I hate them too. I listen to them sometimes. I hate them.
Okay, 3 more shout-outs. Kyle and Corey Schultz, new Patreons.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Especially Kyle became number 1 supporter on Patreon.
What?
He is the man.
He is the man.
Yes, if me and you were like the president and king of CCO Nation.
Yeah, I'd be the king, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's like higher, president or king.
Well, I look better in a crown.
Maybe. I look better in a suit.
There you go.
Perfect.
If I'm
the president and Brando's the king, he would be our archduke. Or something. I don't know. What else is really good? Secretary of Defense.
I like Archduke.
I like Archduke too.
Yeah.
So Kyle and Corey, good on you. I think they're related, but they didn't say that they're related. They just Patreoned on the same day and have the same last name, and I asked them, and they didn't say no.
Way to be related, guys.
Yep. Excellent. Family love.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect for the arc of friendship.
Yes.
Yes.
Although sometimes families don't like each other, Ryan.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
thing.
And I'm sorry if you come from that kind of a situation.
Mr. the Third,
Ooh.
contest winner from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like him.
Lloyd N. Roberts III made a deck list, sent it in. I told him we'd give him a shout out.
Shout out to you.
Contest winner.
Way to go, Mr. the Third. And thanks for the deck list. We'll see about using that later on.
And shout out to Steve Smith.
Who's that?
Smitty.
Oh, is that his real name?
From FU Smitty, friend of the show.
Yeah, I guess it's our friend in real life.
Became a patron.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, he's the second actual friend of the show patron.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat.
So we're playing the other night, and I've been tweaking a few decks, like I said. I'm tweaking Vona, Butcher of Magan, whatever. And I'm playing the shit out of this deck, and I'm creaming everybody. You're pissed off. JJ's sitting next to me, and he's getting his ass beat, and I'm at like 700 life. Smitty goes, doubling season. Then Smitty goes, Nicol Bolas, sack 7 permanents, take 7, discard 7. Oh, F you, Smitty.
That was the one game I think that ever happened where mill mattered.
Oh,
Because I actually did have every single threat in my deck milled.
Yeah.
The only thing I had to win the game was the land that was left in my library, because I searched it to see if I could find something. It was all land.
Yeah, you cheating bastard.
And the 2 creatures I had in play and the 3 that I had in my hand. That's all I had to win the game.
Oh,
Yeah. So I had 11 cards left in my library, all of which were land, and nothing.
I hate that game, and I hate that deck, but I like playing against the deck. And we're talking about that deck today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Smitty's Planeswalker deck was the deck that went doubling season Nicol Bolas. Yeah, he's that guy.
Yep.
In the same game, JoJo was in the game, and we're talking about that deck next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Another friend deck.
Yeah. Exciting. Well, we won't tell you what the next week's deck is, though.
No.
No. Teasers.
What we do want to go over, now that we've teased Smitty's deck real quick, is the giveaway.
Oh, yeah, our contest winner.
We have a contest winner this week, and the details on the prizes for the Friendship Arc giveaway.
Yeah, we've actually, now that we have some Patreon support from you guys, thank you very much, we are going to start kind of reinvesting some of that money back into prize support for the show. So we've decided that for the Arc of Friendship, since you are all kinds of our buddies now, we're going to start giving away every 2 weeks. We're going to have a giveaway based on something that we've kind of talked about somewhere else in the show. So keep listening, and we'll have a little stack of cards that we'll be giving away every couple of weeks. So make sure that you're liking, sharing, subscribing to be entered into getting those.
I think per arc, right? Every arc we want to keep the contest like on theme, right? So last time we were asking for a Sliver Planeswalker.
Yep.
And we got a bunch of submissions.
Yeah, we did.
We picked a good one, and we're going to give away a bunch of foil slivers.
Yeah.
That's better than a kick in the nuts.
Correct.
Well, lots of things are better than a kick in the nuts, but specifically, this is what I have in my hand. I'm holding them right now. I've got and a bunch of them are actually from the Premium Deck Series slivers, which is, I mean, they're still foil, still cool, and you're still getting, I don't know, Sliver Overlord in foil.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Gemhide Sliver.
Cool.
Probably the most important sliver in the deck.
Mana Weft is a little better now, but
Yeah. I didn't have a Mana Weft, but I did have a Megantic Sliver.
ooh,
That's an aggro one. 6-drop sliver. All sliver get +3/+3.
nothing to shake a stick at.
No.
Way cheaper than Legion.
Yes, very much so. Brood Sliver. Whenever a sliver deals combat damage, its controller may put another sliver into play.
Nice.
Muscle Sliver. He's a mini Megantic Sliver.
Yeah.
Sliver get +1/+1.
Pomp Sliver.
Flying Sliver. Flash Sliver. Haste Sliver. Shroud Sliver.
Very good.
Very good
important.
one. Very important. Yeah. Because you don't have to target slivers. They just all give each other all abilities.
Yeah.
Yep. And Virulent Sliver?
That's the one that gives... It's kind of like Infect, but it's a shitty Infect.
Yeah.
It gives them Venomous 1, so it deals regular damage, and they get 1 poison counter.
I think the...
So if you had 10 of him,
yes.
I don't know how you do that, but
Yeah.
if you have 10 of him, people are gonna die. from Poison.
Yeah, I think it's the Poison sliver, right? It's
Yeah.
the one that has air quotes infect.
Yeah.
So you're going to be that guy.
Someday they'll have infect, and on that day, people will cry
Yes.
and cry and cry on their little cock-shaped pillows because people like me are going to start playing slivers again.
So Brando made one. We wanted to talk about it real quick because it's Planeswalker.deck today. It's Sliver Planeswalker, and we've got a Sliver Planeswalker winner. So
Yeah.
what did you come up with?
Sliver Queen, Planeswalker. Wooburg. I didn't come up with a sweet name. I'm sorry. So it's Wooburg for 6 loyalty Planeswalker. Tick up 1, you get a Sliver token.
Yeah.
Colorless Sliver token. Pretty standard.
That's like makes it 7, so it's a 7/7 for Wooburg, kind of like the card, and it gives you a token like Sliver Queen.
Like the card.
Huh.
So it's a throwback to the actual card.
Okay, I like that.
-2, discard a Sliver card from your hand, search your library for any Sliver card, put it into your hand.
Sliver Tutor.
Correct.
Yep.
Very cool. And then -8, we can get into why it's only 8, you get an emblem that says Sliver cards in your graveyard count as if they were in play.
Ooh.
So if you have the Pump Sliver or the Shroud Sliver and they die and they hit the bin, you're going to still have those abilities for all your Slivers that are in play still.
Once you get your Sliver emblem.
Right. So it's
I like
powerful, it's game-breaking, it'll probably win you the game, but it requires investment that you can get from Sliver Queen Planeswalker by discarding them into your bin and finding a new one to then discard into your bin if you want, or play and have it die.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so game-breaking it's going to win immediately. Like, we actually did have one.
Yeah,
that was
because
like,
you can't just discard, and then hope to get the emblem to make all of those guys in your graveyard count.
Yeah, you still have to start ticking her back up, right?
Yeah.
Probably what you're going to end up with is 3 colorless, abilityless Sliver tokens, and then they'll have some abilities of whatever have died throughout the course of the game. So I think
I don't mind that. You have
Yeah.
you make 3 slivers, you get your emblem, and then you have like 3 super slivers.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. It's aggressively costed, so it's going to like draw some hate towards it so that it's playable, and you're not just going to like hide it behind the chip bowl for 8 turns until you can ult it and give everybody the finger.
Smitty.
But yeah, so that's kind of was my thinking behind the one that I built. That was the one I envisioned. And if Wizards hears this and wants to print that card, I demand a foil one
Yes.
because it was my idea.
Me too. And we'll
Yeah.
give them away, so send us lots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have a winner picked here of the submissions. One Mark Niles. Niles?
Show it to me.
Your name has like 5 letters, but I totally screwed it all up.
I'm going to say Niles.
I'm going to say Niles.
Mark Niles.
He's the actual only one that gave Sliver Queen a name other than like Sliver Queen Planeswalker, Sliver Queen Transcendent like you had suggested.
Yep.
Thorax the Infiltrator.
I don't really get the name, but it's a name.
It's a name.
I dig it.
Wooburg, loyalty 6, like yours.
Yep.
But his is +2. And +2 gives you choose one. Vigilance, haste, trample, flying, or death touch. Until end of turn, sliver creatures you control gain this ability.
Ooh.
That's kind of neat.
That is kind of cool.
You can pick whatever sliver you don't have and give it the ability. Right?
Right.
You don't have trample sliver. You don't have winged sliver. Then you pick flying. Oh, all my slivers fly. Okay. -2. Create 2 1/1 slivers.
Seems good.
Yep.
And then you can give them Death Touch and Trample and Haste and all kinds of stuff.
Very much so. I think the common theme between all of the submissions was create a sliver or create 2 slivers.
Makes sense.
That was a thing on all of them. So good on you for kind of knowing what the card should do. Now, the -10 is search your library for any number of sliver creature cards and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Dang.
So you tick up, like 2 turns, and then -10, get all your slivers.
It's Nisa. Is it a Nisa thing where she does that with elves?
Yeah, somebody like the first Nisa.
Somebody does that. There's a Planeswalker that does that.
It's an ability that wins you the game, which is what,
Every time.
is what most ultimates should do.
Yeah.
And that's why you're not allowed to get them.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
And
that's a pretty easy one to get to. That one takes the same amount of time as mine, but it will win you the game 100%
yeah, like
of the time.
immediately. Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah.
If I was Wizards, I'd maybe look at the abilities. Maybe the +1 or like the plus ability is a +1 instead of a +2. So
Yeah.
you're gonna plus it 4 times, and then it still dies instead of plussing it only 2.
Yep.
Something like that. But Mark, you've won yourself a stack of sliver cards, and I've got them in my hand here. So we're gonna get after you and get your address and send them out.
Yeah.
Very much so. And who knows? Maybe like the last foil giveaway we did, there'll be a couple extras.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who can say?
Only us, actually.
Yeah, we can, but we're not going to because we're jerks that way.
Yes, very much so. Okay, other contest. Arc of Friendship.
Arc of Friendship.
Arc. I've got a little stack in my hand here.
Okay.
Fanning them out so Brando can see them.
Ooh.
CCO Staple.
CCO Staple.
Purphoros, God of the Forge.
That's the dude comes into play, deal 2 to all your opponents.
And Friends.
And friends.
Uh-huh.
Purphoros doesn't have any fucking friends.
His friends are Goblin Bombardment.
Yeah, second dude do a damage.
You're going to get one of those. That's a finisher after you've made a whole bunch of tokens
Yep.
and done damage with Purphoros. How are you going to make tokens? You say, how about a Mere Battlesphere? That's one. Now, I know Mere Battlesphere has been printed a lot, but it still goes in Purphoros decks.
Yep.
Right alongside Mere Incubator. Old one. Mirrodin. Search your library for any number of artifacts, exile them, make that many mirrors. So, I don't know, maybe you have 20 artifacts in your deck that you exile and deal 40 damage instantly with Purphoros.
It's pretty good.
And then, if anybody's, playing Vona.deck, like the life gain deck, you just take those 20 mirrors and sack them all to Goblin Bombardment.
Yeah, there's 20 more.
There's 20 more?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that that's not enough.
Okay.
Warstorm Surge. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield that you control, deal a damage equal to its power.
Nice.
Okay, so there's an extra 20 damage on that same scenario.
Yep.
Still not enough?
Never.
How about a Furnace of Wrath to double all that damage?
Ooh.
So all the damage that we talked about there, what are we at? Like 70?
70.
How about 140?
Now we're talking.
Yes. And just for good measure, and it's foil, a Goblin Slide. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 Goblin with haste onto the battlefield.
Nice.
Minor saw play in Zada for a brief moment in time.
Yeah, if you had lots of big mana, you could do that.
Lots of big mana. You just cast your spells while you're storming and continue to get more and more goblins.
Very important.
You could use it in Purphoros if you want to go the goblin route.
Yes.
A little bit underpowered, but foil, so you're getting a free foil.
And it's a nice foil.
And sometimes you just need to say fuck everything in the direction that you point this card in. It's Urza's Rage from Invasion.
Ooh.
Yes, I had a playset. It's an instant for red 2, kicker of red 8. Urza's Rage can't be countered by spells or abilities. Okay, can't be countered. Urza's Rage deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Okay, for 3 mana, can't be countered? It's not good enough.
No.
If you paid the kicker cost, instead, Urza's Rage deals 10 damage to that creature or player, and the damage can't be prevented.
Ooh.
So, I don't know, you do your Furnace of Wrath, and then you do your Urza's Rage, take 20.
It's not bad.
Can't be countered, can't be prevented.
Let's just Banefire.
Screw that. I like Urza's Rage better.
Urza's Rage is a much more flavorful card. I agree.
I'm throwing it in there because I like Urza's Rage. And I have the winner. Oh, no, we don't have the winner selected for this yet.
No, we have no winners selected, but we will.
Yeah.
So any kind of... This is just basic giveaway. Follow us, support us, please. Any shares or likes or whatever, we'll throw your name into the draw drum. We'll pull a name out of a hat in 2 weeks, and we will give away that pile of cards that we talked about.
Yes, and the final thing, and this is quick because there's far less dollar values in this package, but I do have a lands package.
Ooh.
And this goes back to what we've been harping about on the show about budget 5-color mana bases. We talked about it in Yidris. We talked about it in Sliver Queen in the last arc. I'm sure we're going to talk about it in today's episode because it's a 5-color deck.
Yep.
I've got in my hand a set of Tri-lands. I've got some foil Vivid lands. I've got a Gemstone Mine, which is like $7 now.
Dang.
Yeah.
How?
It's in any color land that goes into like competitive EDH decks because it's going to give you any land and you only need it like one time. Comes into play with a mining counter on it and you remove a mine counter to get a mana of any color.
It's also in Ledge.
Ledge?
LED Dredge.
Ah.
So it's in a legacy deck, too.
Yeah, okay. So anyways, land.package.
Yep, we'll be giving that one away at a later date.
Yep.
So just like and subscribe, listen, share.
Take down the ninnies.
Yeah, that's the main goal here. We're trying to bribe you guys so that we can take down 2 scrapbooking ladies that we don't even know. They might make us sound petty, but we all need goals, and that's ours. So there it is. Okay, so I guess we talked prizes, we did shoutouts. Should we talk about a deck list?
I suppose we are a Magic podcast. We
Yes.
should probably talk about Magic stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so Smitty's recipe. Planeswalker.deck.
He didn't name the deck. I feel kind of bad about that. Or did he name it? Did he name it?
No.
Smitty, if you're listening,
Sorry.
what the hell's the name of your deck? Just tell us.
Yeah. 5-color butt sex. I don't know.
5 color turns that are long sitting at the end of the table where nobody can see what I'm doing. Deck. If I sound bitter, it's just because this is the deck that Smitty tends to play when we're all like 8. Well, me and Ryan are 5 or 6 beer deep, and the turns are really long, and it's late, and I'm not paying the attention I should be. And all of a sudden, it's like Ultimate this Planeswalker. Why the hell did you play that? I've had him in play for 10 turns, Brando. I announced it to JJ, and then he didn't do anything about it or say anything about it. It's fine.
Brando, you already attacked this Planeswalker 3 times. You knew it was here.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Okay, so let's get into it. 15 creatures.
15 creatures. Most of which are mana dorks. Some of which are just kind of, I don't know, aggro includes? Finisher includes?
Yeah, finisher includes. I've got some notes on those a little bit later on in the show. Let's cover the little guys, the guys that are doing their jobs to power the deck.
Okay, so we got Birds of Paradise. We all know Birds of Paradise. We got a really cool guy called Drover of the Mighty. He's a 2/2 for 1 from, what's it called? The most recent set. It's got dinosaurs in it. Ixalan. Thank you. He gets +2/+2 if you control the dinosaur. That's just kind of a thing. But he also taps for any color of mana. So he's like a 1/1 bird for 2. Kind of neat. Could be a 3/3 for 2.
I like the 0/2 for 2 from Invasion better. What the heck?
Utopia Tree?
Yes.
Yep. That's a good one. That could be in here.
2 toughness. Just saying.
It could be in here instead of Druid of the Anima. It's a 1/1 for 2. Elf Druid taps for red, green, or white. What else do we got in here? We got a Noble Hierarch. We all know Noble Hierarch. She's a 0/1 for 1. Exalted. Add Bant colors to your mana pool.
I like that one.
And what else we got?
$7 trillion.
Got a Rattleclaw Mystic. It's a 2/1 for 2. Add Timur colors. She also has Morph. When you morph her, you get green, blue, red. Pretty good. And that's it. The rest of them are all big face crushers.
You know what? We should note that Sun Titan is in there, and he is playing fetch lands, and he is playing these mana dorks that he could get back.
Yes.
So Sun Titan, whenever he enters a battlefield or attacks, you can get a 3-drop back from your graveyard to play.
And he's a 6/6 vigilance for 6.
6/6 vigilante.
Ooh.
Yes. So I like that guy. The other ones we'll talk about later. Instance 4.
Just 4. And they're Counterspell, Path to Exile, Render Silent. That's another counterspell with a silence attached to it. And Worldly Council.
Worldly Council, Smitty. Come on, play Brainstorm or anything.
Yeah, or Mystical Tutor.
He's playing a 5-color deck, so it's got Domain. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the basic land types among lands you control. Put one of them into your hand. The rest go to the bottom of your library.
Yes.
So it lets you dig 5 cards deep, which is not negligible.
It's not bad, but you could do better.
I think that Brainstorm might be better, because maybe in that top 5 cards, or maybe it's only the top 3 cards like in Brainstorm for 1 less mana, you get to keep all 3 of the cards you see, if you want. You draw 3, then you take 2 from your hand, put them back on top of your library in any order. Still an instant. A little bit more skill intensive, but a lot more reward if all 3 cards you see you want to keep. So, Brainstorm. Sorceries. 8 sorceries. Probably ramp, right?
No.
Or fixing.
No.
Oh.
No.
Tell me more.
We've got All Sun's Dawn. For each color, return 1 target card from your graveyard to your hand. For each color, I guess. So you get 5 cards back.
You cast, you get 5 cards back, one of each color.
And you also have to exile on All Sun's Dawn. That's very important, so you can't just return it with itself. Got Conflux. It's another sorcery for Wooburg 3. Search your library for 1 card of each color into your hand.
Whew, that card's a wrecking ball.
Day of Judgment. It's a sweeper. Demonic Tutor is a tutor. Diabolic Tutor is also a tutor. Last Stand is a little weird. We can
This
get it.
This is weird. Read this one, because I bet you lots of people don't know this card.
Okay, Last Stand. Wooburg for a sorcery. Target opponent loses. Hang on a second. All right, really close. There's novel on here. Target opponent loses 2 life for each swamp you control. Last Stand deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Create a 1/1 green sapling creature for each forest you control. You gain 2 life for each plains you control. Draw a card for each island you control. Then discard that many cards. Holy shit.
So I've seen Last Stand kill somebody with the swamp ability, and take out a creature, and give Smitty 2 blockers, and draw him a couple cards. The life gain, don't care.
Yeah, the life gain is totally irrelevant.
So the card does like 4 legitimate things.
It does 4 really good things and 1 maybe relevant thing, but probably not.
One I'll take it thing.
Yeah.
I'll take it for the additional mana that it made the card cost.
Yeah. It made
Yeah.
the card cost 1 more, so I'm getting something for it.
Weird include if you wanted any of those things, any of those 5 things, 1 for each color, play a card that does that depending on your meta. If you're playing a 5-color deck and just want to throw Wooburg cards in, like if I think Smitty said at one time he wanted to switch this to Ramos, Dragon Engine.
Yeah.
That card definitely stays in
Absolutely.
because it's going to do work and it's going to make your Ramos bigger. Yeah,
Very
but
good.
If you want any of those effects, play a dedicated card for that effect.
Also, this card without Prismatic Omen. Oh, Prismatic Omen is here. Good on you,
Hey,
Smitty.
yep.
Excellent.
There you
We'll
go,
get into
Smitty.
Prismatic Omen in a bit.
Good art on Last Stand too. Ron Spencer, my favorite artist.
Very cool. Then finishing out our sorcery suite, we have a Ponder. Everybody knows Ponder. And a, I don't know what this is for. Maybe Smitty can text it in. CCO Nation, if you have any idea why you would ever include this card in any EDH deck, you let us know. Vampiric Touch is a sorcery from Portal for black 2. Vampiric Touch deals 2 damage to your opponent. You gain 2 life.
It's a Siphon Soul.
What the fuck's it doing in this deck?
I think it's supposed to be a Vampiric Tutor.
Well, that's not what it says on the card, Ryan.
No, it doesn't.
Tutor and Touch might start with the same letter, but that is the extent of the similarities of those words.
Alphabetically, if I'm typing Vampiric T into tapped out and I'm down arrowing and hitting enter to what I think is Vampiric Tutor, but is Vampiric Touch, I think that's how it ended up in the deck. If not, good on you, Smitty. You're playing a non-auto include.
Yeah, way to go, bud.
That's what we like in
Yeah.
CCO Nation.
Yeah, good call. Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, artifacts. 5. We're going to keep flying through these.
Artifacts, very standard. We have Greaves, Boots, Sol Ring, the Chain Veil, which is very important. We'll talk about it later, and a Whisper Silk Cloak, which is for the giant beaters that we talk about. We'll, again, come back to and talk about
Yeah,
it.
I think that's fine. If I was an asshole, I'd maybe put Grim Monolith and also Thran Dynamo in there because they go infinite with Teferi and Chain Veil.
Yes, but
If you have a sink or a dump for infinite mana, maybe that's what you do.
sure.
If you don't, maybe you just leave it out. Tutors, 5. We covered Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor. It's supposed to be Vampiric Tutor, maybe.
I don't think so. I think Smitty put in Vampiric Touch. I think that's real. I think
think-
that
I
deck
think-
is. I think it's actually in the deck. If we had the deck physically in front of us, we could leaf through it. Vampiric Touch.
Definitely. You know what? It's probably a Vampiric Tutor sharpied over Vampiric Touch because portal cards are hard to find.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that time Jesse proxied an island with a fucking island.
I can't believe that's a real story.
That's
I
a
can't believe
real
that's a real thing that
story.
happened.
Oh my god.
That's a true goddamn story, CCO Nation. There was Island, and he had like Island like sharpied over the art, and then like a number, so he knew which island he wanted.
Which
to get.
because he wanted the right art.
Yeah, which
Good on you. I like playing the same
yeah,
art.
sure, but just go get it. Don't write a reminder text on a flippin' island for it. Oh my god.
Oh man, I can't believe how much I'm laughing this episode. Enchantments, 12.
Okay, let's go through these real quick again. We got Doubling Season. We all know Doubling Season. We all know why it's here in this deck.
It's going to double the counters on your planeswalkers when they enter the battlefield.
Correct.
For
Not-
any of the new members of CCO Nation.
Correct. Not when you activate their abilities, though.
Correct.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Okay, then next up we have Genju of the Realm. It's another Wooburg enchantment. Legendary enchant land. So you enchant a land with it. Tap 2. Enchanted land becomes a legendary 8/12 spirit creature with trample until end of turn. It's still a land. And then when that enchantment dies, or when the land it's attached to dies, it goes back to your hand.
The
Neat.
enchantment goes back to your hand.
Correct.
Yeah, it's 8-12.
8/12.
Just random?
Yeah, well, it's Kamigawa. Crappy Gawa.
Oh,
There you go. Next up, another Wooburg enchantment, Maelstrom Nexus. It gives the first spell you play every turn Cascade. So it's value town all day. Next up, we have Mana Reflection, double your mana. Oath of Gideon gives you 2 blockers, and each planeswalker you control enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter.
Yeah, and you know what? These Oath enchantments are legendary, and all planeswalkers are legendary too. Could be important in the suggestions portion of the show.
Yes. We have Oath of Nisa, another one. It's for 1 green. When it comes in, you look at the top 3 cards of your library. You take a creature or land or planeswalker from among them, put it into your hand. and you may spend mana as though it was mana of any color
Ooh,
to play
fixer.
planeswalkers. But
Still fixing because there's
Still.
lots of planeswalkers.
It's very good. Next up, we have Prismatic Omen. Lands you control are all land types. It also makes your fetch lands tap for colors.
Woohoo!
Very fun. And then after that, we have the 5 vows, all of which enchant a creature. They get plus whatever, and an ability, and they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control.
Yeah, now, interesting. I wanted to talk about these. There's one for each color. They all cost 3. They all make it so you can't get attacked by the enchanted creature. That sort of is like removal.
Sort of.
I had a big in this game where I got Nicol Bolas. He enchanted my big and I couldn't attack him. And he was the guy I wanted to attack because he had Doubling Season and Planeswalkers. So he effectively removed it was like a Butcher Malakar or something. Like he effectively made him a 7/7 and gave him lifelink.
I think it was flying.
Flying. He already has
it's flying. But
yeah,
I think that's what it was.
So I couldn't hit any of his Planeswalkers for 7 flying, which he couldn't have blocked. And it could have offed any one of his Planeswalkers.
They're tremendous political cards because they remove the threat from you,
but make it bigger for everybody else.
Yeah, like if you're, especially with Smitty in that game where he's first and everybody wants to take him down. No, you're being encouraged to attack with this giant creature, somebody else who may or may not have answers to kill Smitty's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the downside about them is they're essentially sorcery speed because they're enchantments and they cost 3. Not necessarily how I want to play my removal unless it's like Vindicate.
Also, you can still block with them.
I suppose, yeah.
So like you could just leave them up and...
I'm not just going to block with a 7/7 flyer, though.
But when Smitty's the only thing left and he's trying to kill you by attacking you with these giant dudes,
I
now
suppose.
that you also have giant dudes that might be bigger.
And the vows, the other use for them is you enchant your own guy, right? I got a series of ground impounders, and you enchant yours with the vow of +2/+2 and flying. You just fly in with your own dude and attack me.
Yep. They're all going on my Corona.
Oh, yeah.
In my Corona deck.
Excellent. Okay. Lands. He's playing 33 lands. I think that's a little bit light for this kind of control deck because there's not a whole lot of search your library or any search your library for land .card. You certainly can't miss colors.
No.
So the 33 land have to do work, which makes them very expensive. He's playing duels, shocks, fetches. Very expensive deck as a result.
Correct.
And another reason why we're going back to that budget land contest package because we want to show you this is what you play. We're going to give it away to somebody.
And there's one of each basic. Everything else is tapping for 2 colors or more.
Yeah.
Or is a Reliquary Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there's a Reliquary Tower.
Yeah.
Smitty always plays Reliquary Tower. I think he plays it in every one of his decks.
He used to play Spellbook in every deck just to spite me. And then he's like, okay, I need to actually get a use out of a card that makes me not discard, so I have to play Reliquary Tower. Fine, Ryan. You win. F you, Smitty. Okay, the meat and potatoes. Planeswalkers. 22.
Oh, baby. Let's see. Who do we got here? Who do we got? We got 4 Johnnies.
4 Johnnies. Is there? No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 Johnnies.
4 Johnnies.
That's not even all the Johnnies.
We got a Johnny call. I think it might be. I think it is.
I don't know anymore.
If it's not, who cares? There's 4 fucking Johnnies. A Johnny Caller of the Pride, he makes all your dudes bigger, and then his ultimate gives you a bunch of dudes. A Johnny Goldmane, he gains you life, makes your dudes that are in play bigger till the end of turn, and then gives you 1 giant guy. He works really good with himself. I really like that.
The most important abilities on Planeswalkers are the ones that can generate you some kind of advantage. So when you look at one of the Johnnies says, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 dude, right? Well, it says up to 1 dude because you don't have to put them on anything if you don't want to. You're just upticking a Johnny. No advantage there. 28 Planeswalker abilities that generate some kind of card advantage, whether that be actual card advantage, aka kill something or put cards in hand, or virtual advantage where you up or down tick and you get tokens or blockers or some form of board presence. 28 instances across 22 cards, and that does not include doesn't include ultimates. That's just their pluses and their minuses.
Ooh, so those are the abilities that you'll actually get to play with.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes, very much so. So when we talk about control deck and resource management, essentially Planeswalkers in my mind are like the set it and forget it, right? Because
Totally.
you play them, and while you can't forget to uptick them or downtick them, you set them down, and then you don't have to attack or block or whatever. You just uptick, and reap the rewards. You have a one-time investment of 3, 4, 5, 8 mana, and that's it. And everything else in the deck is meant to either protect them, find you more because planeswalkers will die, or fix your mana.
Planeswalkers are kind of like equipment without that aftermarket cost.
Yeah.
You play it once, and then it just hangs out and gives you. They're the ultimate in value card. Every one of them is like that, except for Tybalt, because fuck Tybalt.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
But anyway, so I'll run through them real quick. Ajani, Mentor of Heroes. Ajani, Vengeant. Chandra Nalaar. Chandra, Torch of Defiance, fuck you. Elspeth, Knight Errant.
Elizabeth Knight Errant.
Elizabeth
Yeah,
Knight-
you almost said it.
I don't need to say her name right. Garrick, Apex Predator. Garrick, Wildspeaker. Jace Bellerin. Koth of the Hammer. Liliana of the Dark Realms. Liliana Vest. Nick Bolas, Planeswalker. Ral Zarek. Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. Sorin Markov. Tamio the Moon Sage. Teferi, Temporal Archmage. Venture the Sojourner. Vraska the Unseen. And Xenagos the Reveler.
Whoa.
Zounds.
We never mentioned who the commander is.
Does it matter? The answer is no, but let's say who the commander
The
is.
answer is no, but let's say who it is anyway.
This is one of those decks that's he's just played for the colors. It was only recently, within the last maybe 2 months, that he ever actually played him and did anything of any value with him.
Yeah, there's a story that goes with that, right?
Yes. We can tell it in a bit here. The commander is Chromat. He costs Wooburg for a 5/5. He's just a legend.
Yeah.
I think he's a dragon, but he's also got a whole slew of abilities. He's got white-black, destroy target creature blocking or blocked by Chromat. Blue-red, Chromat gains flying. Black-green, regenerate Chromat. Red-white, Chromat gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Green-blue, put Chromat on top of its owner's library. So he does a whole bunch of sometimes relevant stuff. The story behind Chromat actually helping is, I think it was JJ had something ridiculously huge, like a Vulturous zombie
Yeah.
or something huge, and he's
It's
swinging
like a
at
70-70.
swinging at Smitty for the kill. Smitty's sitting there, and he plays Chromat so little, he actually forgot what the card did. So he's looking for anything with flying, and Chromat looks like he flies. He looks like a dragon. He's got wings.
He's actually an illusion. I just looked it up.
And he picks him up, and he looks at him. He's like, oh, give Chromat flying. Boop, block, kill your Vulturous zombie.
Yeah. So he goes, yeah, he had Chromat in play because he just didn't have anything else to do last turn. And he's like, yeah. Spend 2 flying. Spend 2, kill your guy.
Yeah. And it was, and I think that the Vulturous zombie even had trample, too.
Yeah, everybody lost their shit.
It was very funny. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, he's had this deck for a long ass time. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you could have a Planeswalker deck, he's had this deck.
Yeah, when he first built it, there was like 4 planeswalkers in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just keeps just cutting stuff and adding Planeswalkers.
So hey, that's good for the Arc of Friendship, right? That shows that, look at this, how long we've been playing. This is the evolution of the deck. He started literally with like 4 or 5 planeswalkers in there in like a Lara block as soon as the Tri-Lands came out.
Yeah.
Right, when you could actually make a good 5-color deck and without spending $1,000. Good story about JJ Smitty. Fu Joel was there. He thought it was funnier than anybody.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Chromat's so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I keep saying that he should replace Chromat with the Dragon Engine, Ramos Dragon
yeah,
Engine.
that's what
but-
he's doing.
And I don't know when he's going to do that. I'm sure it's coming.
Get on it, Smitty.
Yeah. But for now, Chromat, and there's the story behind Chromat.
Okay, so let's get into a couple more of the deck stats. Card draw spells.
Card draw spells.
9, not including planeswalker abilities that do not draw cards. So these are the planeswalker abilities that specifically put cards into your hand.
Ooh,
9 of them.
that's pretty good.
That's
It's
on par. I mean, you're going to want like 8 to 10 or 11 card draw spells in a normal deck, right?
That's pretty standard, yeah.
Targeted removal, including planeswalker abilities. Now, this includes ultimates because I wanted the mass removal section to include ultimates,
Right.
right? So targeted removal cards and planeswalker abilities, 21.
Nice.
Sounds like a control deck. It can
Yes.
just off anything whenever it wants, as long as it's a sorcery. Yeah. Mass removal, 7, including planeswalker abilities.
Also pretty good.
Yeah, also pretty good. I expected it to be higher, but he's only running Wrath of God, and the other effects are planeswalker abilities.
Yes.
And that includes like Chandra abilities or whatever that deal to each creature,
Yeah,
or
Flame Wave or whatever it is. It's
or
like
the
10 to
Elspeth that you minus to kill everything that has toughness 4 or greater. Oh no, he's only playing one Elspeth in the deck.
He's not playing.
He's not
that
Sun's
Elspeth.
champion.
Yeah.
I think that he should. That's the best one, I think.
He should play the Wrathing one. Yes.
Yeah.
It's annoying, but I mean it's
It's
Keeps-
the best one.
it keeps people off all of your super friends.
Super friends.
Flip.
See what we did there?
And this deck is even more irritating now because he's playing like the 4 Johnnies, and they're not legendary anymore, so you can actually have all 4 of them.
They're legendary, so you can only have one of any one of them. But the Planeswalker uniqueness rule doesn't exist anymore, so you can have 2 of Johnnies at the same time.
Yeah. Flip.
Yeah, worst. Heck.
Heck that.
Yeah. Ramp spells, 5. This is where it's a little bit low, I think. And this includes Planeswalker abilities, and it includes Maelstrom Nexus, which I don't know if you count because it costs Wooburg. If you don't have ramp or fixing, I mean, he's got fixing. If you don't have ramp to get to your Maelstrom Nexus, which gives your first spell of your turn Cascade.
Well, that doesn't get you land anyway.
No, but if you cast, okay, so you got 5 mana to cast Maelstrom Nexus.
Yeah.
Next turn, if you don't have a land drop, or if you do, you have 5 or 6 mana, you cast your 5 or 6 drop into your next lower down spell.
Yeah, I guess.
Because Cascade, it kind of acts as a ramp spell because it's going to give you more than one card.
It's valuing you. Yeah, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's valuing you, but if you don't have ramp to get there in the first place with 33 land, I think it might need a little bit of adjusting.
Sure.
It's MIDI. Mana Rocks and Dorks, 6. So total of 11 things to get you ramp or mana.
I think just a Smitty thing. This is the thing about him, as I think you can tell if you look at the list or listen to us talk about it, which you're doing. He crams his decks full of the stuff that he wants to play and doesn't necessarily always look at things like ramp.
Huh.
It's kind of he's relying more on the Wizards' support of EDH to keep power creep and mana costs trending down, where he'll just use that 4 mana 12/12 that draws you a card that gets printed in 2 years, as
Yeah.
opposed to playing a Kodama's Reach right now. It's just how we build stuff, and you can tell by looking at this.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Absolutely is not.
I think that the variance in gameplay is very high when you build it that way, because it's like you're going to hit your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 land drops just naturally, organically, and you're going to have a very powerful board presence and hand, or you're going to, hit lands 1, 2, and then miss. There's land 3 or 4 on turn like 6 or 7. Very polarized gameplay. And
Which is good. That's what we want. That's why we started the show.
We do talk about that. We talk about unique gameplay experiences, but there's nothing fun about missing land drops.
No, you never
want to
be
4.
you never want to be mana hosed.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, add 3 land to this deck and whatever. You're
I
off
think
the
so.
races.
I think 33 land is a good starting point. I mean,
mathematically, a third of the land, a third of the deck is land. So you're
yeah. Usually you're sitting at like, traditional Magic in tournament play, like back in the day, it was 24 land, right?
Yep.
Like in Limited, 17 land. It used to be Commander, start with 40 land. That's what you do. That's trended downwards with the downward converted mana cost, downward trend in converted mana cost. I was trying not to say trend there 5 times. You don't need as many land now as you did 3 years ago, 4 years ago playing Commander, because Wizards is printing powerful stuff that costs less, that you want to play because they're pushing you to play it because it's powerful.
Yep.
And also we're just choosing things that cost less.
Yeah.
Would you have seen Brainstorm and Commander 4 years ago?
Hell no.
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 Would somebody have randomly said, like Smitty did, hey, let's put Ponder in this deck to smooth some stuff out because I'm only playing 33 land. Because I want to play 22 Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to put Ponder in.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that Ponder's a bad include.
I don't either.
Right?
It's a little
for
strange
exactly
in this
reason.
deck. It's a little weird because there's only one of it. Like there's a Ponder.
Usually you want Ponder, Brainstorm, Preordain, Opt.
Exactly.
All of those 1 mana card selection type spells.
On this subject, I'm gonna tell a story. I was walking my dog a little while ago and I was thinking about Explorers of Ixalan, new set coming out.
Yep.
And all the cool new dinosaurs that are coming out.
Uh-huh.
And I made myself so goddamn angry. Because
Wait, you made yourself angry?
yeah.
Whoa.
On our last episode, we talked about how Commander is such a good supported format, and I really like the pre-con packages that they're giving us, and it's really great. But something that really bugs me is in the new actual sets, you can point and say, EDH card. And when you actually look at the card and think to yourself, holy shit, is this better than every other thing that's ever been printed, ever?
In
And
this color pairing.
And it just pisses me off. In what goddamn universe should there be a 6/6 for 6 that swings and lets you play spells off the top of your opponent's library for free? That should not exist. But it does, because EDH, and they want EDH players to buy their fucking product, and here's this red dinosaur that everybody wants, including me, because I want to put it in Grimlock, and I want to put it as a commander of a red deck that I'm going to use to ruin people's lives.
Yes.
For 6.
They're pushing. I've heard a theory. Wizards got a new CEO.
Mickey Mouse.
He comes in and says, what are the most valuable portions of this brand? And all of their designers, developers, corporate managers say, well, lots of people play limited. Okay, lots of people play limited. Okay, standard is what sells packs. Okay, what do people play other than that? Well, Commander. And how many Commander releases do you do? Once a year. How many other releases do you do? Well, 5, 6, 8 other releases in 2017. Why are you only doing one Commander one? Well, that's because, it drives sales, standard, whatever, right? All the big retailers have to crack packs to sell singles for standard players. Okay, start putting Commander in every single set, every single one. Every single new addition to Magic is going to be a Commander product, and it's all going to be the top end or super rare, mythic rare, and everything else is going to be designed for limited and standard, right? Like it's so polarized. Like this is your limited and standard stuff because it's the same stuff. The stuff that's good in limited is by and large good in standard and vice versa, and everything else is for Commander. Nothing else is for anything else.
And every so often something will sneak into a legacy deck or
yeah,
a modern
exactly.
deck or something.
And people make what about Fatal Push? It was designed for modern. Okay, that's the only example that anybody has been able to give me, and I've had this conversation both with our play group, with you, online, on Facebook. I've had this conversation with many people, and Fatal Push is the only example that people can give me. Listen, I'm not ragging on Wizards. I don't want it to sound negative, but
no.
I do agree that they're pushing us, and we talked about this when Ixalan came out, where it's like, okay, here's what you play. Here's the dinosaurs that you wanted. We're going to make them all super powerful. You have to play them, or you're not going to be able to be competitive in Commander unless you play actual competitive Commander where you're jamming 17 copies of Brainstorm and all of its equivalents. Yeah. That's the other way that you play Commander. There's none of this in between where you can just play the Rorix Bladewings or the zombie tribal deck or whatever. That's not going to cut it anymore because you either have these decks with this huge top end or decks that'll kill you on turn 2 or 3. Social contract, blah blah blah. You have to take into account that you and your play group want to play a certain type of game, and maybe it's just on us now to say this is what we want to play.
Which is what we do. And you look at this deck, which is pretty powerful in our group when we're playing kind of fun decks, and that I think it's pretty on point.
Yeah.
This deck would be insane if it had like a crazy ramp package or a crazy like mana fixing package, but it doesn't.
Yep.
So
it would be Atraxa if it did.
Yeah. I've seen this deck fall apart without land drops. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So have you. Like it's
yeah.
And that's cool. That's variance, and that's what you want.
I guess CCO Nation, let us know what you think. There will be people that disagree. There will be people that play these other formats where me and Brando don't as much anymore, and you're going to have a different opinion or the same opinion.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who aren't part of CCO Nation that are going to tear me apart on Twitter again because they like all of the new stuff that's coming out, and I like it too. That Zakama, the 9/9 guy that untaps all your lands, excellent. It came out and I hated it, but now I love it because there's not really any way to break it. Yeah, he untaps all your lands, but you're not in the colors that are going to combo with that, right? Like, okay, play it with Mycosynth Lattice so you can just pay green 2 and blow everything up. Like, cool. Make infinite mana. Cool. That's what decks are already doing.
Yeah.
You're going to pay 9 to do it? And then do it on the same turn because you're going to untap all your lands. But I'm just going to do it for like 6 with Teferi, or I'm going to do it for 3 with Animar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's already stuff doing what this guy's doing. So what I don't like about it is everything else that goes in the same deck, that same Zakama deck, is all that huge top end stuff that if I'm just playing a normal deck, I'm not going to be able to compete with.
Anyway,
Whew.
where were we?
Jeez. See you next week.
Yes, on the next episode. Nah.
No. Let's go into how to play the deck a little bit. We talked about the stats. We talked about what's in it.
Yeah. No, we could say how we would play the deck, or I suppose should we talk about how we would do it, or should we talk about how Smitty does it?
Well, I think for the most part it's pretty easy, and I just want to run down not easy to play because there's lots of nuance to it, but
Yes.
this is by and large how it works. Turn 1 and 2, ramp. You've got 6 opportunities on turn 1 and 2. That's 36% in your opening hand plus the couple extras that you have on turn 2. So you're going to have ramp, 1 out of 3 games.
Pretty good.
That's okay. It's okay. Could use a little bit more though. 10 opportunities to ramp on turn 1 gets you 50% chance to ramp on turn 1.
Pretty good.
Right? So if you had 10 ways to generate mana on turn 1, 10 rocks or dorks, on turn 2 you're going to have 3 mana, 1 out of every 2 games. And there's 3-drop planeswalkers in here.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. Set up for turn 3. That's the main thing, right? You can tutor, boots, prismatic omen, lots of different plays on turn 2.
Yes.
So turn 2, you're typically going to have action, but in this deck, you got 12 3-drops, 13 4-drops,
Ooh.
right? So turn 3, if you've ramped, you're gonna have a lot of action, right?
Actually, if you look at the curve on tapped out on the page, you can actually see it's like steps. A few 1s, a few more 2s, a few more 3s, a few more 4s, tops out at 5, and then it just drops off.
Drops off, yeah, for the exception of just a couple cards.
Yes.
And when you see a curve like that it goes up, 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 drops off, I think the bottom step has to be ramp. It has to be. You have to have 1-drop ramp spells.
Yes.
Because if you can turn your turn 5 into your 4 and turn 4 into your turn 3, because you have such a density at 4 and 5.
The other way around. You want to turn your turn 3 into your turn 4.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you're going to be in good shape, right? Because typically decks have the most density at the 3 and 4 drop slot. If your density now is at the 4 and 5 drop slot, you're going to be more powerful if you can make your 5 drop where their 4 drop is.
No, on paper, that is all true. Everything you said is absolutely true. Now, in real life, watching Smitty play this deck, I would have never, ever guessed that he had that little ramp in it.
Oh, yeah?
Just because the Planeswalkers provide you so much kind of
Value.
just incremental value.
Continued value.
Yeah, it never goes away. They don't stop. It just always going up, always giving you something. So it kind of lets him get more out of the cards that he has to find more stuff to play or to do.
You miss your 6th land drop, but you can tick up 4 planeswalkers.
Yeah, you can find your 6th land drop, make 3 guys, draw a card, untap 2 land to play a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Garruk and Chandra in this deck are houses because they untap or give you more mana, right?
Yeah.
They're crazy.
So I guess turn 4 to turn X, whatever that is, that's where you want to be.
Yep.
And to get there, ramp as soon as you can. Or card draw. I mean, we talked about Ponder. We talked about Worldly Council. We didn't talk about Jace Beleren. Blue 1, +1, draw a card.
Everybody draws a card.
Oh yeah, +1, everybody draws a card. -1, you draw a card. Minus 10?
It's +2, everybody draws a card. -1, you draw a card. -10, target player mills 20.
And he's got 3 loyalty. So
Yeah.
you tick him up, everybody draw a card to 5 to kind of keep him alive, because on turn 2 or 3 when he hits, nobody's going to have a 5 drop or a 5 attacker.
If you ever ultimate this Planeswalker in EDH, take the card out of the sleeve, rip it in half, and eat it. Okay? Because you're doing it wrong.
Like we didn't do with Moonlight Bargain one time.
That totally happened.
Yep.
Foil Moonlight Bargain.
Okay, so after turn 4, maybe we want to get into what I say are questionable includes. So he's got some big creatures here that I think are meant to finish the game, but I don't know if I like them. I think I might like the Planeswalker path to finish the game.
Okay, let's take a look at some of them real fast. We'll just put them in there. Avacyn, Angel of Hope.
This one I like.
8/8 for 8. Flying Vigilance, indestructible. Other permanents you control have indestructible. Doesn't help your Planeswalkers, but
it makes them indestructible.
Well, they can still have loyalty counters taken off of them, and then they die.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you can't destroy them, but you can still kill them. Next up, we have Dread. He's a 6/6 for 6 with Fear. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, destroy it. And if he goes to your graveyard, you shuffle them back in.
Yeah. Now, good sounding card, but black in the mana cost, just like Avacyn was white in the mana cost. With Dread, though, I'm not going to attack Smitty. I'm going to attack his Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
So Dread doesn't actually kill my guy.
It actually encourages you to focus your fire where it should probably be going, which is on his damn Planeswalkers.
Yep.
Because without his Planeswalkers, he's a sitting duck.
Yeah, and a loser.
Yeah. So what do we got after that? We got Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. I hate this flippin' card. She is a 5/5 for 4 red, white. It's another crazy mana cost.
Yeah.
Flying first strike. If a source would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent that opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. But if a source would deal damage to you or a creature you control, it deals half that much damage.
So that's okay for protecting your Planeswalkers, and some Planeswalkers also deal damage as their ability.
Correct.
So not terrible, but she's a 5/5, and you don't have a whole bunch of other creatures that are doing the swinging for you.
Yeah.
Right? So,
It's
I
one of
don't
those
know.
things that encourages people to attack elsewhere. Because, see, we're giving you value. But at the same time, it's like, if I kill everybody else, now I'm going to have to deal with that thing alone.
Mm-hmm.
So it focuses the attention. In that game we talked about from the other week, he played this, and it was all about killing her.
Mm-hmm.
It totally took all the focus away from everything else. We have to kill this because it's going to cause all of us to die.
So I guess maybe that's why it's in the deck.
Maybe it's another like hatred focusing thing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You know what I like? Jumping ahead, Edric, Spy Master of Trest, does the same thing, not in the deck. I think Gisela could be replaced by Edric to get that you guys attack and I'll draw cards, or you can attack and draw cards from hitting each other, but you're not going to attack and draw cards when you attack me. So it
Yeah.
defers people from attacking you,
Yeah,
but
and
lets them attack, kind of like the Vows.
And it's less threatening.
Yes,
It's less of a blatant threat. Coming up next in our finisher creatures, I like her,
I like this one.
and I'm glad she's around. Joyra of the Gitu. She's a 2/2 for 1 blue red. 2. Exile a non-land card from your hand. It gains Suspend 4. Now, Suspend is you put whatever number of you remove something from the game, put whatever number of counters on it, and then every upkeep you remove 1 counter from it until you have removed all counters from it, and then you play the spell.
For free.
For free. So it's pretty cool. It's a good way of like early on in the game if somebody's going to make you wheel your hand or get rid of something that you like.
Or if you don't have 8 mana to cast Nicol Bolas Planeswalker.
Yeah, you can just essentially cast them for 2.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, people can see it coming. They can prepare counter magic, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's 2. And if nobody counters it,
They're going to eat a whole bag of dicks.
I've seen Joyra beat wholesale ass.
Yeah, she's a good deck. She's a deck all in her own right.
What else do we got? We got Maelstrom Archangel, another Wooburg thing. She's a 5/5 for Wooburg, flying. Whenever Maelstrom Archangel deals combat damage to a player, you may play a non-land card from your hand for free.
I like that one too.
Very cool.
And I also like Maelstrom Wanderer, the guy that has Cascade.
7/5 for 5 blue, red, green. Creatures you control have haste. Less relevant in this deck,
Yeah.
but the Cascade is
Yep.
pretty big time.
Those two I like. And I like Maelstrom Wanderer for the same reason I like Maelstrom Nexus, gives you free cards, and Maelstrom Archangel gives you free cards.
No,
I guess if it says Maelstrom, you're getting free cards.
excellent.
Yeah.
We talked about Sun Titan already. Here's a loose include that I don't really like. It's Progenitus. It's a 10/10 for white, blue, black, red, green,
old
green.
pierogi tits.
Old Pierogi tits. He has protection from everything, and if you'd be put into a graveyard from anywhere, you shuffle him back into your library. EDH has too many sweepers to make him good, because he's just a 10/10.
You know what I like about him, though, is if you get him and you play him, if Smitty changes to Ramos, he's better.
Yeah.
And he is, ultimately, if you cast Conflux, he's whatever color you're missing to tutor for.
You can always use your 8 mana spell to tutor for a 10 mana spell.
Yes. Smitty hard cast him the other day.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. We're talking about, there's not enough land or ramp and blah, blah, blah. Guy's hard casting pierogi tits.
Hard cast and fucking Pierogi tits. Yeah, that's some stuff. I just don't, because he gets wrathed. There's
Yeah.
lots of wraths. And
Yeah, that's a thing, all right.
he's easy to get, and he's a 4 pump chump.
Yeah.
Like it's still, and if you've gained any life, now he's a 5 pump chump. Do you think there's a table in the world that's going to let you attack 5 times with a creature this big and not wrap the board. It will never happen. Speaking of creatures that are too big, we have a Vulturous Zombie. He's a 3/3 for 5, one of which is green, one of which is black. Flying, whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it gets a +1/+1 counter. We talked about him earlier with that JJ versus Smitty Chrono.
I like this guy too, just because he is gigantic and already has evasion.
Yes, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's an excellent card. If you're not playing him in your deck, and you can, he's a really good include. He's a solid include, and he's cheap. He's like 40 cents.
I like him, and the guy from Commander 2014 in the Marin deck, Mazarik. Yeah, him too. Whenever you sacrifice, dudes get bigger.
Yeah. So, and then the last one, I have no idea why this is in here. We have Teriel, Reckoner of Souls. She's a 3/7 for 7, 3 of which are the Mardu colors. She has Flying and Vigilance. Tap, choose a creature at random from your graveyard, and then put it back into play.
If it was a non-land permanent and put it back into play, I could see why it's in here.
Absolutely.
You randomly get Planeswalker back.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't have that many creatures, but 2 of them get shuffled back into your library when they go to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of them can't die. It needs to get exiled. That's Avacyn.
Yeah. And then the other ones are dorks that you probably won't need because you've paid 7 for Teriel, so you're probably already doing okay.
Yep.
So there's no reason for her to be here, I don't think.
Badass art, though.
Yes. Excellent. But
yeah, I would hang that in my living room.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's in there. Good on
Smitty,
you.
let us know.
Good on you. I think, talking about those 4, 5, 6 creatures, whatever there is, there's some definite missing cards in here from a Planeswalker perspective. What about if you're playing Nick Bolas? If you can afford to play Nicol Bolas, mana-wise, why not Ugin? Same converted mana cost.
Yeah.
Just as powerful.
Ugin might even be more powerful and easier to cast than Nick Bolas because he's colorless.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If you want to be a real douchebag, you can play Karn too.
Yes. Oh, I didn't put Karn in my thing. Regardless, Cure the Crashing Wave lets you draw a card and play another land. She's got an Explorer on her, so she's both a Planeswalker and a ramp and card draw spell. Excellent.
And some of her ultimates are pretty. Isn't that the one that gives you a whole bunch of octopuses?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 8/8 octopus or serpents or whatever the hell they are.
I think squids. I think they're octopuses. It doesn't matter, but very good.
They're
she's
giant
a cool
8/8s that are going to beat wholesale ass tentacle style.
Yes.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, pretty pricey, but definitely good card. Best Planeswalker, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Elspeth Sun's Champion. Mentioned her earlier on in the show. She gives you 3 1/1s. She wraths the board. She gains you life. She does it all.
Yep. Destroys non-token creatures. Is that what she does?
Something like that.
Yeah.
She's good. She costs 6 though, which is more than the 4 that the Elspeth that Smitty is playing costs.
We could cut Liliana of the Dark Realms for her.
Liliana of the Dark Realms, yes, because she gives you swamp.
Yeah. What the hell are you gonna do with that?
Swamp,
you don't play Dread?
No.
Because we're gonna cut Dread for something else anyway.
Absolutely, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorin Grim Nemesis. We're gonna give him a read.
Sorin Grim Nemesis is a 6 loyalty planeswalker for 4 white black. +1. Reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to its converted mana cost.
That's card draw and mass burn.
Holy shit.
Or mass drain, I guess.
-X. Sorin Grim Nemesis deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life.
Removal.
Dang. -9. Put a number of black Vampire Knight creature tokens with lifelink onto the battlefield equal to the highest life total among all players.
There's your win con.
Jesus.
Yes, he's very good.
And you could use the old, first to Johnny to give them all +1/+1 in vigilance.
Yes.
And then attack with them.
Yes, and you could use the minus ability from the 3 mana Nissa to give them all +1/+1 counters as well.
Yeah.
And you could use Atraxa at the end of the turn to make them all even bigger.
If you wanted to play Atraxa in this deck.
Yes.
Because you're a scumbag.
Which I think you do.
You probably do. If you're a scumbag. I bet you Smitty puts Atraxa in this deck.
Probably he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's just to round it out, because we're crunched for time, Sarkhan Unbroken, Dak Faden, Nicol Bolas Godpharaoh, Tamiyo Field Researcher, all draw you some kind of card advantage. Dejero with Eyes Open. He's a white legend, tutors for a planeswalker. Atraxa. Bringer of the Black Dawn, Bringer of the Blue Dawn. Those are both card advantage spells that you can play for Wooburg colors instead of their actual mana cost. Deploy the Gatewatch lets you tutor for a planeswalker. No, sorry, Call of the Gatewatch lets you tutor for a planeswalker. And then the Vow Cycle. The Vow Cycle could be, let's say, Cyclonic Rift and Swords to Plowshares and Terminate and
Hero's Demise.
Vindicate and all of these things that just off whatever you want.
Yes.
But politically speaking, maybe they're not as
Valuable, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this is a multiplayer deck, right? We'll get into it in the Spice Formula. And then I guess the final suggestion that I would make is soon Smitty is going to need something to destroy the Immortal Sun from Rivals of his Ixalan. Stops all Planeswalker abilities from happening. Because everybody's going to play that deck or card.
Yeah.
He's going to need something like Anguished Unmaking, Vindicate, Chaos Warp, Beast Within, Krosan Grip.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Smitty, we're rushing through your deck a little bit, but we're crunched for time now, so we're moving into...
Card of the Week. You guys all know what the Card of the Week is. Do they know? They know. It's Vampiric Touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have balls to play Vampiric Touch in a deck like this.
Yeah, you have to have balls to let Vampiric touch your balls.
Yeah.
Or a vampire touch your balls.
Yeah, absolutely, because their hands are really cold.
Yeah, and they got long fingernails.
Yeah. So it's, like we say, we already went over it. It's a sorcery, 3 mana, 17 cents, like $1 Canadian. Get them. Get them, play them in your black decks. It's in this deck, so it must be good.
Absolutely.
Take it to Value Town, baby. I'm sure you can find some sweet uses for that.
I wonder if it's on the reserve list. Reserve list buyout, Vampiric Touch.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay, milk list?
Milk list.
So the milk list is, as per EDHREC.com, a list of all of the most played cards in each color pairing. Today, Wooburg. So,
Wooburg.
in converted mana cost order, 0-drop slot. Mana Crypt.
No.
Soul Ring at 1.
Yep.
Demonic Tutor at 2.
Yes.
Chromatic Lantern at 3.
No.
Smitty, you're killing me. Wrath of God at 4.
No. Plays Day of Judgment.
Mirari's Wake at 5.
Nope.
Teneb at 6.
Nope.
Atarka World Render at 7.
Nope.
Nicol Bolas Planeswalker at 8.
There we go.
There it is. Bringer of the Black Dawn. Hey, I suggested that.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't play it, though.
Dang it. Dragon Tyrant at 10.
Nope.
Ulamog at 11.
Nope.
It Betrays at 12.
Nope.
Emrakul at 13.
Nope.
Dinkmouth Infusion at 14.
Damn it. No.
Smitty, how come you're not playing it? Oh, no. A Talkthon Worm at 15.
No.
Draco at 16.
No.
3 milkless matches.
It's pretty good.
Good on ya.
Solid. I like that.
Okay, we're going to go into, just real quick, Brando's giving me the look, strengths and weaknesses, and I want to run down them real quick because I think people really like Planeswalker decks.
They really do.
They like Planeswalkers ever since they were invented in 2007 in Lorwyn.
And there's a damn good reason why Atraxa became instantly the #1 commander in Commander.
I was just going to go there is because you have access to all the 4 best Planeswalker colors because red is the weakest in the Planeswalker department and Atraxa lets you do what you want to do.
Correct.
Yeah, so I guess repeatable advantage, Swiss Army knife of decks.
Yes.
Right? We talk about all the different abilities. I mean, 22 Planeswalkers, if they only had 3 abilities each, that's like over 60 different abilities.
Yeah. So, I mean, 1 card is like playing 3 cards, and that's lots of fun.
You know what? I think that, Vampiric Touch is Soren Markov's plus ability. That must be why it's in the deck.
Yeah, okay. It's flavor.
Yeah.
Wow, there's some spice right there. It's like a bay leaf.
Yeah, very much so.
I like that.
It's like, it's on theme.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, sweet. There we go. Okay, it makes sense.
Okay, full suite of vows for protection. They don't slow the game down. They actually speed it up and are removal.
Pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, access to 5 colors, definitely a strength. You can play all of the best cards when people start to play the Immortal Sun.
Yep.
You can play whatever you want to kill it. Challenges the opponents to interact on a different axis.
Yeah.
Right?
Brando removal is less effective against this deck because there's a lot of other things that I have to get rid of first.
Yeah. Okay, weaknesses. It's kind of slow.
Yes.
Need way more ramp, or it needs to be Atraxa to be faster.
Yes.
Yeah. Or find doubling season sooner, which would mean more tutors, which would mean less spicy.
Correct.
5 color mana base, either slow or expensive. Same thing that I just said. Lots of hate.
Yes.
Lots of hate. Everybody hates playing against Planeswalkers because they don't let you do what you want to do, which is attack people. To win, you have to attack Planeswalkers, which means the player of said Planeswalkers doesn't die.
And in some cases, they also slow the game down because you're waiting for all these goddamn Planeswalkers. I gotta find a swamp. And I gotta find a thing, and I gotta put a thing on top of my deck.
Yeah,
Everybody draw a card, and then son of a bitch, just play a creature and pass the turn.
Okay, to that point, I guess, despite playing the vows and path that doesn't slow the game down and is removal, they do have a lack of early game and a lack of removal, like proper removal, right?
Yes.
Lack of board wipes because you're trying to cram so many planeswalkers, right? Strengths and weaknesses, if you're looking to play a deck like this, just make sure you are aware of those things. Spice calculator?
Spice calculator.
Okay, at the time of the show notes, 572 Chromat decks. Chromat's the kind of guys like, Chromat's the type of guy that, you know, you go to his page on edhrec.com and it's like, oh, every Vow, every Planeswalker, every, 5-color card. Right next to Chromat is Corona. Right next to that, Horde of Notions. Right next to that, Reaper King. They all kind of have the same deck. 5-color cards, every removal, every Wrath, every Vow, every Maelstrom Nexus. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He is the 9th most popular WUBRG commander. Good on you, Smitty. You made the second row. That's at least worth a spicy.
Absolutely. It's worth a point. Ramos is even less spicy, though, or less popular.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Only
yep,
for now, though. He's still pretty new.
I guess.
But I guess good on you for building Ramos because, yeah, he's got less builds.
Yeah.
Average CMC, 4.1. Pretty high.
Very high.
Critical turn, 5. Max that category out because the deck is slow. Optimal game size. Oddly enough, despite attracting hate, the deck, I think, gets better when you play more people
Yes.
because you're just going to get more advantage off of an additional opponent.
And you'll have more people who could possibly be a bigger threat than you. Because another thing about Planeswalkers is some of them are innocuous. Nobody attacks Jace Beleren. It's like, ooh, I'm drawing a card every turn.
Yay!
You know what? They never think you're also drawing a card. My card was that forest I wanted, and yours was Nick Bolas, Godpharaoh, or Karn, or some other horrible thing.
That's going to give you repeated advantage.
Yeah, that's going to punish you forever.
Yeah. So, uniqueness rating, despite all the hate I just gave the 5-color generals on edhrec.com, Smitty's list is 35 cards different than the average Chromat list on EDHREC. It's pretty good. And I guess when you take into account the 5 tutors he's playing, you plug all the numbers into the spice calculator, beep, boop, 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 37 spicy.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Most of that is
less spicy.
Absolutely. Most of the drop there comes from the tutors.
Yeah, if you take all the tutors out, I mean, you're still only be at 40 something. You're at 57 with no tutors.
Yeah.
But I think going back to what I just said about doubling season, that's like the most powerful card of the deck.
Yeah, you're not taking that out.
You want
to find it.
You want to find it. So, I mean, maybe you sacrifice the spicy or the unique gameplay experience by adding tutors to find your most powerful card because it's what let him win the other night against me.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I hear that. CCO Nation, let us know what you think of our friend Smitty's deck. Let us know changes, includes, excludes, blatant omissions.
Yeah.
Let us know if you run Vampiric Touch in a deck because it's great.
It's the best card. It's definitely the most powerful card we've talked about in at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it on mtgstocks.com to see if the price jumps.
It's going up.
Yeah, it's from Portal.
Buy it out. Get them now while they're $1.
Yeah. Certainly don't go to the Onslaught spoiler list and look up Siphon Life or Siphon Soul. Don't go to Legends and get Siphon Soul. Don't get Siphon Soul from any set. Get Vampiric Touch.
Yeah, Vampiric Touch is way better.
Yep, goes in...
any deck that plays Sorin.
Yeah, and it goes into any Vampire Tribal deck, too.
Absolutely, because it says the word vampire on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Final thoughts of the day?
Final thoughts of the day. There we have it. Our very first friend list. It actually tells you a lot about Smitty's build style. He does build things kind of to theme, which I really appreciate, like Planeswalker theme, extra attack step theme. I think he had an exalted theme.
Yeah, he's got that too. Yeah.
He builds lots of stuff like that, and it's really illustrated in this, which I think is probably his most powerful and most irritating deck. Let us know what you think about it. We're going to be on to... who's next? Joe Mama is on next with his less spicy list, more competitive, I would say.
Yeah, he's a dick.
He's kind of a penis. But we are still friends with him, so we will talk about his deck on the next episode of the Friendship Arc on Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!